another episode of Box Mining. Today is Friday for me. It is Friday early in the morning, the 6th of November, and boy, has Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the rest of the cryptocurrency space lifted off this morning. Extremely excited. Very, very bullish episode for you guys today. And man, it was great waking up this morning. So yeah, when I woke up, I just checked the crypto charts. And I'm like, whoa, what? Wait, what's happening? Bitcoin past $15,000? Holy crap. And Ethereum sitting at what, 434? What? Yeah, it's been crazy. I mean, man, we've been here for a long ride. I mean, we've been here for a long time, but it's great to see that almost 10% push for Bitcoin all of a sudden. It's a great feeling. And you know, for me, right? For me, I'm extremely happy, gloatingly happy, because obviously I've been accumulating a lot of Bitcoin over the past few days. And I mean, I have a lot from before too, but I told you guys that I was DCAing back into Bitcoin, preparing for this, and yeah, it did come. So it's like Christmas has come early almost for me, at the very least. I hope you guys are doing well. I mean, you know, if you guys are in crypto, if you guys are watching this, I'm sure you guys got some Bitcoin, Ethereum. It's time to rejoice. So just a little bit today. So we'll talk about what's causing this. We'll talk a little bit about the elections. That's been like the biggest thing on everyone's mind. It was a big ride. So what I'm showing you here is Trump win. So this is the FTX trading bit for the Trump winning. So it goes to $1 if Trump wins, it goes to 0 if Trump loses. So yeah, it was a huge ride. Like, you know, people thought, traders thought, and we all thought that Trump was going to win us a certain point. It was almost at 0.73, so 73% chance of winning. And then it just plummeted down, like it just dropped down, straight down. So it was a huge ride this week, just understanding what was happening with the elections. And now we're sitting at 0.5, so I guess 0.5% chance of Trump winning. I mean, I don't know, like that's crazy. That was like a crazy trade. I didn't trade, I was just watching this. I was watching this to spectate what people believe was happening, right? Because you kind of look at where the money's at, and that's where it's going. But anyways, it was a crazy wild wave ride. We also have Ethereum 2.0. So the deposit contracts for ETH 2.0 are up already. This means that we're one step closer to actually deploying it. This is where people can now, the deposit contract means you can actually send ETH to that deposit contract. Just make sure you get the right one. We're actually going to do videos on that, but just make sure you get the right one, guys. But people are depositing millions of dollars into that contract to migrate from Ethereum to Ethereum 2.0. Some caveats ahead. We'll discuss some of the kind of like the complications. It's not going to be easy transit. In fact, Ethereum 2.0 is going to be its own separate network. So it's going to be a one-way transfer to Ethereum 2.0 until maybe even 2 years later, until we can transfer back. I'm sure exchanges are going to do something about that. But anyways, for now, the story is that if you transfer and move on, migrate, you upgrade, you're not going to be interact with the rest of Ethereum for another 2 years. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind, my guys. Keep that in mind. So yep, that's pretty much a whole lot going on. We have a whole lot of discussion on Reddit about what's happening here. We're going to talk over all the news that's coming. We also have some cool stuff appearing, well, everywhere. I mean, I think this is a time where everyone's jumping out, and it's a bull run for Bitcoin, and it's a run where it's not cannibalizing the rest of the cryptocurrency market. It's one of those situations where Bitcoin's moving up, everything else is moving up. DeFi is also moving up too. So that's just where all of a sudden I'm flooded with messages this morning. I'm like, it's like I'm enjoying this. Okay, that's great, guys. So anyways, before we start, of course, we still have some stuff to go through. I'm trying to upgrade the stream a little bit. So I've been doing some little bit of upgrades and stuff. I hope the sound quality improves a little bit. Just upgraded, put more soundproofing on my right side over here. So it should have less reverb than before. But anyways, it's little stuff. And then we have Bitcoin out of the box. I'm gonna work on that today. So we're gonna have some new messages coming up, new podcast episodes coming up. The last one was on privacy on the blockchain with Professor Don Song. This is actually quite important. If you know, for everyone talking about elections, you don't want election results, well, you want the results to be transparent, but you don't want the vote to be transparent to everyone else. This is where privacy on a blockchain is going to take, it's kind of the next frontier for blockchain. Right now, so that's a good discussion. Make sure you check that out. It's on Bitcoin Out of the Box. It's my podcast. Search for it. It's on basically podcasts every podcast platform, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, whatever. It's like I'm using this program, publishes everything. So it's like done. Anyway, so check that out, guys. Make sure you check that out. So privacy on the blockchain, I think that's absolutely important, and make sure, you guys know what's happening. All right, and on that as well, we have the newsletter. We're gonna move that as well. Definitely going to cover Ethereum 2.0 on the newsletter this week. And also, if you actually want to check out the Box Mining website, you can just get that. The link for the newsletter is /newsletter. It's so weird, but anyways, yeah, that's there. Go away. Boom. All right. So anyways, without further ado, let's go straight to the content, the meat of this episode. So starting off with the markets, if you look at the past 24 hours, it's been absolutely bonkers bananas. Just look at that. Bitcoin, 10% in the past 24 hours, moving to 15,686. We saw a little bit of a resistance at around 16,000. So you saw, basically, if you see here, you see that there was an attempt yesterday to breach 16K, to push up beyond that, but yet again, we got a little bit of a resistance. So now we're kind of at this fun point here, just kind of waiting to see what happens, seeing how high Bitcoin can go. And it's very obvious that we're in an upward trajectory right now. I think it's like beyond obvious. Like ever since more or less September, Bitcoin's been moving up a little bit per day. And I think the people who like I've talked to that are kind of cautious are now extremely curious about Bitcoin. I think that's the kind of the tone, the shift in tone when everything moves up. They're like, oh, tell me more. So yeah, I've been talking to people about Bitcoin for the longest amount of time. I think some of them, the smartest ones, were the ones that got in at around 5,000, 6,000, looked for an entry point, got in, and then now we're just enjoying the rest of the ride, right? It's been absolutely bananas, crazies. And I think this is a point where I'm extremely bullish, but at the same time, I'm also cautious. There's a little bit of caution here as well. I think this is something that we learned over time. So I've seen some people post, oh my God, we're going to go to 250,000, 1 million. For me, I'm just like, you know what? 10% per week. I'm pretty happy for that, like, let's be cautious. And there's still a chance, right? There's still a chance things will go down. So how does this tie in? Why Bitcoin is moving so much is obviously to do with the elections, right? So the elections in the US has been creating a lot of uncertainty. People don't know what's going on. And now we're going to enter that new phase where we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's still a big mess. This week I've been watching the elections about, it's so polar, right? Regardless of who wins. But it's kind of interesting to talk about, now there's talk about Biden winning. And with Biden winning, there's going to be a lot of uncertainty what's going to happen in the markets. And with that uncertainty comes Bitcoin, right? Now people are talking about, okay, look, if it's not so great for trade, then what about for Bitcoin, gold, and all other hard assets? I mean, the underlying truths have been going for a long time. The Fed has been printing a lot of money, all right? And then the whole world is entering this era of instability. And yet again, do you want to hold a currency that you can't transfer, that a currency where the government can just close down your accounts randomly, off chance? And this has been happening around the world too. Or do you want to have a currency that you truly own yourself? And I think this is the power of Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin coming back in, it has a finite supply. So it's going to go to 21 million, then stop. And then it also has, I think, something that's extremely valuable in a time of political uncertainty, which is complete control. You, regardless of who you are, where you are, what your race is, what your color is, it doesn't matter. Bitcoin always treats you the same. And I think that's kind of, if that's not power, guys, I don't know what is power. So anyways, that's finally getting some recognition. We're moving up in this phase. We also have Ethereum also shooting up as well, like a rocket. Ethereum moved up twice. So the pattern was a little bit different because Ethereum had some really good news this week, which was Ethereum 2.0. So you suddenly saw that like little bump here. So around towards Thursday, there was a little bit of bump, like boop, and a bump again. And the reason why is because of Ethereum 2.0. So finally, this anticipated upgrade to the Ethereum network, that is finally underway. So the deposit contract just flipped up. All of a sudden, Vitalik posted, everyone went crazy. Oh my God, progress is being made on there, and people are ecstatic. So that's kind of the taste of what's happening. This is a little small taste of what's to come, and we'll talk about Ethereum 2.0 in a second, what that means for everyone else as well. So now, overall in the market, also everything else is actually doing pretty well too. If you actually look at the past 24 hours, you see kind of DeFi picking back up again. I mean, we've been seeing DeFi is being bashed very heavily for the past few months at the very least. Reason being is because there was a lot of profit taking, especially if you look at the prices of which people got various coins for, and you can do this by pretty easily. So you can, like, if you look at, say, something like SNX ICO price. So you can actually look at ICO drops and start doing some research to find out what the initial sale of SNX was and kind of where it's at. So it's like it's 5x versus the original USD price. And this is for the public sale, right? And the issue is obviously what was sold at private sale prices. So if people got very, very cheap coins at the very start and they've already had a 5x, well, profit taking happens, right? So that was what's happening. A lot of people were talking about the Singaporean guys, so the guys like 3 Arrows, Spartan Capital. You have all these guys who offer 0x, like these very key early investors in DeFi. They were taking profits very aggressively for the last 2 months. So we'll have to see what's happening in the next few days to see if we do see that reversal coming in. There's a lot of talk about Uniswap as well. Now everyone's back into this whole DeFi craze. DeFi has legs, right? DeFi has legs. It's just a matter of how much, how long it would take for a lot of things to show fruition, and the price volatility obviously depends on who's buying and who's selling. And at the end of the day, a lot of people were selling back in the day. So anyway, so I think this is very optimistic for the market overall. It just seems like there's a sigh of relief over a market. You know, if you look at it, barely, like, look at most things in the past 24 hours, they're all in the green, right? If you look at you got to scroll down to the very end to see what's like, okay, Numeraire is losing a little bit, but that's because it was up a lot. So you can kind of see that, yeah, I was like, it's pretty much positive for most of the altcoins as well, which is a good sign. Which is a good sign that the whole market is moving up rather than Bitcoin cannibalizing. So Bitcoin has cannibalized the altcoin market before. So when it does very aggressively move up, it does cannibalize some. Like sometimes it's always almost been a trend where it's like almost 80% of the time it does cannibalize some the altcoin markets. So this is also why for the past few weeks I have been accumulating Bitcoin and Ethereum quite aggressively, a little bit of each in on the side as well. But kind of the main coins, this is where I feel like the mainstream media, if it's going to pick up, it's going to pick up from Bitcoin. And then that's been a classic entry to crypto, right? So that's where kind of I've been focusing a bit on Bitcoin again, and I can kind of see where it's going. And the kind of interesting thing about Bitcoin is that no matter who I talk to now, people understand it. Well, people heard of it, they don't really understand it. Okay, that's a better clarification, because people, you know, they kind of understand, oh, it's some digital currency that these nerds like, but you know, they don't really understand it. But once they start understanding, like, people are starting to understand more of how broken the financial system is, and it's only the next step where you realize, okay, look, you want to have a currency you possess, and that's why I'm kind of been repeating this for the whole day today. You know, that's the value of Bitcoin. Anyway, so moving up, so we have some other good news as well. So let's talk a little bit about Ethereum 2.0, what you need to know. So Ethereum 2.0 took up a burst when Vitalik posted, oh my God, the deposit contracts are suddenly up. Vitalik. So this has been in the works for a long ass time. All right, so I think this is something that you gotta understand. You gotta understand. So this is deposit contracts released. So this is where it's ETH2 quick deployment, and this is where it's gonna start. So Genesis trigger time is actually coming up quite soon as well. So yeah, or for those of you like Unix time, December the 1st, it's gonna come. So what's happening with Ethereum 2.0? I'll draw this up. So I'll explain this a little bit. We have full articles explaining everything that's going on. I'll give you a brief rundown of why everyone's excited, why this is like the excitement of the century. So Ethereum is a network where almost everything is being run, and I think that's been pretty much the mainstay, and that will be the mainstay. But obviously, Ethereum had a few of its flaws. Like, for example, it's very, very hard to scale, and we see in gas fees. I've been complaining about gas fees for the longest amount of time. So obviously, all of this can be fixed when the full version of Ethereum 2.0 is deployed. So I mean, as the name suggests, obviously, right? So, well, when then? Now the question of course when and what's going to happen. So we have right now, if you look at it, we're right now on ETH 1.0. And ETH 1.0 is going to remain exactly the way it's going to be. And the easiest way to describe it right now is we're going to think of this little kind of rainbow bridge to ETH 2.0. Let's say ETH 2.0 is like this, because draw more lines here because it's kind of running in parallel. It's a little bit thicker. It's like, think about it's got more roads, right? So it's a little bit more thicker. It's got more roads. It's very, very nice to drive on ETH 2.0. So ETH 2.0. So right now, what we have is this deposit contract where you can start migrating funds from the current Ethereum chain to the next chain. So this is kind of a one-way stop. The fact that it's there is quite important. And what's kind of cool is that a lot of people are going to deposit 32 ETH because this is the exact amount of Ethereum required to start staking Ethereum. That's going to be live on ETH 2.0. And that's kind of the phase one. Sorry, so not phase one. If you're a program, you count from 0. So it's full on nerd mode. You count from 0. ETH 2.0 phase 0 is when it's going to happen. Now, let's go there, boom. And when you move to ETH 0.0, you can start staking and you can start earning rewards, right? So you have an APY for just staking and becoming a validator on there. We're going to talk a lot more about validators and how it works, but that's fundamentally a fundamental shift in how Ethereum works in Ethereum 2.0. At phase 0, though, I would say that it's not going to be immediately useful because a lot of decentralized applications, they haven't migrated yet, right? Because there's a migration process. When you first start here, phase 0 is just going to be mostly a beacon chain. And in terms of functionality, sharding and all these cool features haven't been activated yet. So I'm kind of like setting the correct expectations for it. I'm very excited for it because in terms of what it's building, like what it's going to become, is amazing. But at the same time, there's going to be some caveats. So that migration contract is up. That's what Vitalik was talking about, this deposit contract to start migrating. Once you migrate, your coin will literally be an ETH2 coin. So you will not be able to transfer back. So this road back is going to be blocked. So just be careful of that. Some people have been saying, it's going to be fully blocked until the 2 years of Ethereum, where Ethereum kind of merges into one, right? Where this is maybe 2 years later. 2 years. So maybe it's not going to be able to migrate back until Ethereum fully upgrades, right? So this is a consideration, but what I do see is I'll see probably exchanges will be able to provide a back and forth between these two chains. That's more realistic of what I think is going to happen with ETH. But anyway, so that's kind of what's the thing is. And once we migrate, obviously, then Ethereum is going to solve a lot of problems. Like from a very, very base level, it's going to solve, like, having so many roads here is going to solve the gas issues. It's going to solve scalability issues. It's going to be freaking amazing. I'm going to talk about a lot about what's happening. If you want a sneak preview of what's happening, I already have an Ethereum 2.0 video up and an article up about everything that's going to happen. I think the technology here is something that took years, right? We talked about Ethereum 2.0 since like 2017 almost, and now finally we see that here. So that's kind of crazy. Oh man, we got Trump for president being very, very angry. It's kind of hilarious. But anyways, yeah, apparently that still happens. Apparently racism is still a thing here. But anyways, thanks mods for hiding that. That's kind of funny. But I saw the mention of bat soup there. It was kind of funny. Anyways, how about ADA? How about this? How about that? I mean, I think it's a kind of a situation where all the alts are coming back again. I think we've seen a lot of reanimation, people with bags holding. I think this is a time where I'm still quite cautious with the main alt, with alts, because right now the main coins like Bitcoin, it needs its time to shine, right? Bitcoin isn't gonna go and just move up to 15K and sit there. It's gonna continuously move up, right? Over time. And I feel like this is where I'm still quiet in Bitcoin. I will start looking at alts very soon. I think it's time to start looking at it, but is it time to start accumulating it is now the biggest question of mine. So I feel like at this current point, I haven't actually sold anything yet. I know everything's moved up, but I have been considering like, okay, look, when do I take profits? When do I go on the next shopping spree? I mean, iPhone's coming out tonight, right? So iPhone Max, that is. So at least for me, I'm kind of looking at my situation. I haven't really sold yet. I don't see, for me personally, right, not financial advice. I'm super bullish on Bitcoin at this current point, and with Ethereum as well. Both the top ones, they're gonna move, and then when kind of like when you kind of see that they're getting exhausted, that's when I'm going to re-enter into a lot of alts as well. That's kind of my current game plan for the time being. All right, let's see what's else. George Rodriguez says, how's the pandemic situation going in China right now? So in Hong Kong, we barely have anything. So we have no local domestic cases in China. So mainland China right now, from what I'm being told, there's just nothing. So like, this is so weird, but like my parents are just traveling around, driving around the country. They don't like have masks on at the very least. Like there's just nothing. And a lot of my friends and family, they just don't even wear masks anymore. I mean, it's kind of crazy, but I don't know. I don't know what to believe right now. So let's see. Yeah, the whole pandemic thing is such a mess. It's a situation where, like, I was talking about this whole pandemic thing, right? Like, everyone's talking about, it's got a big effect on our lives. Right now, I still have to wear a mask going down. And, the Hong Kong situation is that we're so close to each other, it makes a lot of sense to wear masks. But it's different everywhere else, right? But what I was kind of thinking about the pandemic situation was that, I covered it very early. And that was a time if the world leaders came together and say, look, let's stop this and stop flights, that would have been the opportune moment, right? But nope, that didn't happen. People bickered, people complained, and now we're in this mess still. So I don't know. I think if there's anyone to blame, it's just a bunch of idiots called the world leaders right now. And the whole pandemic situation actually made me a lot more into crypto and a lot less into with a lot less trust in the current leadership, regardless of where in the world. Like it's just a big freaking mess right now. It's just nonsense. But anyways, let's see what else is up. So let's cover a little bit of the news. It's kind of funny. So I was like kind of reading Reddit this morning. So some people are static. I've paid my house today, finally broke even. So there's definitely a few people who got stuck in 2017. This guy's still stuck. He's like, funny to see that Bitcoin this high, yet my portfolio isn't a quarter of what it was in 2017. Very clearly overexposure to a lot of shitcoins. This is where you have to balance, right? This is the fun part of the crypto. I mean, technically speaking, if you're talking about Bitcoin itself, you should probably be almost at probably around a half to 2/3 of portfolio highs, right? But if you're overexposed to altcoins, I mean, everyone's got to play the game, right? And it depends on what. And there are coins that die out, and that's the good and the bad part about altcoins. Personally, for me, I'm still rough. I'm around 70% of what it was at in 2017. I'll be honest here. 2017 was still a big hit, but yeah, been recovering quite quickly, especially with the whole DeFi thing that came about. That actually moved things up quite a lot, to be honest. So, happy times. We have a lot of people. We got Sleepy Joseph's, Bat Soup, China Brain, Wonton Brain. I don't get this, guys. I don't get this. I think people are just really angry. I personally do not eat bat soup. Yeah, like I don't know who does, but I don't know. It's so weird. I was actually watching some videos like Asians get punched in the streets. It's so weird. Anyways, so yeah, moving up, I do think that here, altcoins will come back. I'm not shitting on altcoins at the very least. I just think there's needs to be very good planning, and yeah, that's kind of the case where it's going. So we also have this is kind of interesting too. Fidelity plans to hire over 20 engineers in the coming months to improve Bitcoin custody servers and build products to support the ecosystem. And this is a kind of a almost a trend. This is a trend that's going on. Very, very big trend. Very big movements in the kind of fintech space to support Bitcoin. We saw that with PayPal for the very least, and then we're going to see that with a lot more. Fidelity being asset management, it's kind of funny, right? You know, with these big asset managers, we talk about it's not your key, it's not your Bitcoin, but then who holds it if you're holding it for a fund, right? So custody has been one of the biggest problems and to overcome for one of these funds. At the end of the day, you don't want to trust an employee with millions of dollars, and you kind of saw that with OKX as well. So when it comes to OKX, they couldn't do withdrawals because the guy who was holding the keys, very likely Star Shu, the founder of OKX, you know, he's been cooperating with the police, right? So if that's the case and he's missing and he can't be reached, then they couldn't do withdrawal. So that's kind of the situation where custody becomes so important, and you kind of have to ask how things are custodied throughout the space. Now, what's happening globally? So globally, we definitely see the election being a big relief. You know, at least the results are almost in. So the biggest fear right now, I feel like for the entire market, both crypto and non-crypto, is definitely if there is a drawn-out battle for who is going to be president. If that's going to set a lot of uncertainty on the market. But if you know, regardless of who wins, if there is actually a winner, it's going to be good for both, regardless. So for at least for crypto, maybe not for traditional markets, but for crypto, that's where it's at. So that's my current take right now. Now, globally as well, speaking a little bit more about Asia as well, we're doing a lot of coverage in Asia, and Asia has been a little bit different in a sense. Asia has been a lot more cautious and bearish for the past week, shifting a little bit, but the main kind of factor with the bearishness in Asia is because of the question of what's going to happen what's China going to do, right? So we've seen China making big moves with something called DCEP, which is a central bank digital currency. That's the way to say it. And this is a big way for China to exert dominance in the currency field. So nationwide, this is a currency that's inspired by blockchain technology, and this is why China's been yay blockchain. But at the same time, China's also been closing down crypto assets. So this includes exchanges. So it started off OKX, where OKX's founder, Star, has been cooperating with police. He's been missing for some time. He couldn't be reached for roughly around 2.5 weeks now. So he's kind of MIA. So that was like that sets a little bit of uncertainty in the market. And then Huobi also, we saw some rumors. All right, this is unconfirmed. In fact, Huobi actually denied rumors that Leon is MIA. Okay, they haven't posted up an image yet of Leon being like, you know, in front of camera, right? Like last time we saw when people accused like Vitalik of dying, Vitalik immediately put up a Ethereum block hash plus his latest photo as irrefutable proof, right? So Huobi hasn't offered irrefutable proof yet, which is causing a little bit of uncertainty in Asia, in the China market right now. So this can always be viewed as a carrot and stick play. So China's giving carrots to here. I can't draw a carrot. I'll probably draw a carrot. Okay, here's a carrot, and then here's a stick. All right. So that's my limitations of my drawings. Check out Box Money NFT art. But yeah, so they're slapping a little bit on the exchanges. You know, these were the two biggest exchanges in China. That and I guess you can say Binance being it's China's exchange, but it kind of moved out. But a little bit of a stick on this end and a little bit of carrots on this end. So that's kind of what's happening in China right now. But overall, I would view that this will be temporary. We've seen China FUD before, and we've seen China try to control crypto. In fact, they supposedly banned Bitcoin back in 2017, but we still know that trading was very, very active 2018, 2019. It's like a situation where, when you look at China, I think this is what a lot of people don't understand when they're looking at China, is that the gray area matters a lot. So sure, exchanges were banned, but OTC desks were allowed. So people continue to trade, people got in, and there's still a lot of activity. And this is why kind of everyone's eyeing on what's going to happen next with OKX and Huobi to see what's going to be the next step, especially for a lot of China-based altcoins at the very least. All right, so that's kind of a summary of what's happening. Okay, so lots of discussion here. Just a few news updates as well. So let me just throw up a few things that I saw that was kind of interesting. Just give me a sec. And let me throw that in. So let's see, first and foremost, we have, let's see what I retweet. All right, so we have DuckDAO. So you guys know that I've joined DuckDAO, I'm in their chats, and DuckDAO, they're releasing an NFT card game. So this is really going on, this NFT trend. And for me, like if it's affordable, I'll support them. So there's a situation where, yes, it is affordable. They're actually going to do a box mining card coming up soon. So if you're interested in collecting NFTs, check the DuckDAO collection coming up. And for me, I also have my own NFT collection series, so make sure you check that out. And my view on NFT has been, kind of very bullish in the long run. And yet again, in the short term, I feel like there's going to be, at least I think if we're supporting art, I wouldn't mind spending small amounts of money to support art, but not ridiculous, right? I mean, I think that's kind of the situation there. And there's prizes right now. So like there's communities, thought leaders, there's actually prizes. So you can just check that out on the DuckDAO Hunters right there. We also have, what else is there? So recently, and this is a long time coming as well, this is me and more to do with Hong Kong and also to do with everything else. But we just, so now I'm officially a strategic advisor to Genesis Block. A lot of people have said this is a long time coming. So Genesis Block is the Hong Kong local Bitcoin center there. So I've done a few episodes there. And in fact, I've been, on and off, showing off that location for a long time. And something that they've been doing that's very, very great since 2017 is to provide a physical space for people, for meetups, for people to understand crypto. They even teach people how to install wallets and all that stuff, that education element, especially a physical location for people who aren't very tech savvy. So now I'm a strategic advisor for them. I've also placed an investment into Genesis Block as well. So not only am I an advisor, but I'm also an investor in equity of the company as well. So yeah, that's been something that I'm super happy about this week. So we're finally announcing that, and you guys have probably seen I've been working closely with them together as well to really push the kind of message of Bitcoin forward. Also on the note of Genesis Block, if you guys are trading OTC, so that is if you're looking to trade large amounts of cryptocurrencies, then check out Genesis Block, because that's kind of what I use to get in and out. It's just much more convenient than an exchange, especially if you're in Hong Kong, but they also serve international clients as well. So yeah, just check that out too. Cool. We got Genesis Block HK. Smile. Wow, you guys are watching this. Thank you. Arigato. We got Axie Infinity Rules. Wow, that's great. We got VeChain, question mark. So a lot of people, like, this is kind of funny. So I definitely own a lot of altcoins too. All right, but I don't talk about it all the time. And I think maybe it's a me thing. Like throughout the years, when people aggressively show me a project, I generally have a very negative reaction to it. So this is why I don't also constantly show something to you guys, but you kind of know that I have exposure. So this is kind of the interesting part about Bit. It's I act a little bit differently from everyone else, where I hold assets and I just don't believe in shoving it into people's faces every single day. It's just like that. So yeah, I definitely have VeChain. I definitely still have a lot of Engine. I have like a lot of these altcoins that's lying around. It's just like Swissborg, Utrust, Binance Coin. Off the top of my head, I still have a little bit of Chainlink even too. And then I still have, I have all this. Like people are so worried and concerned and want me to show the stuff, but at the end of the day, I feel like Like good projects will stand up for themselves, and I think that's the key, right? I've been a long-term hodler, very, very long-term, and you know, it's been doing pretty well. Some things you like, yeah, pretty much. So yeah, so people were asking about trust drop earlier. I'm holding on to that like crazy. I still think there's just a lot to do to get from that, like from being so fast in the space. Small altcoins as well. Genesis block add locations out of HK. Any plans? They actually have a base in Thailand as well. I actually checked out the Genesis block office in Thailand as well, so it's actually pretty cool. Southeast Asia, man, that's where it's at. Ryan Tay says, Michael, does your plant have a name? Actually, no. I should do a community naming event for the plant. That's coming up soon. A community naming event. Guys, thank you guys so much for watching. We have 450 people here. If you guys don't mind, do smash up those likes. It does really, really help this channel. It's yeah, it's a YouTube thing, you know. Yeah, I've been actually like doing some cool stuff. Some people actually suggested that I do an outro video. I actually did that over the weekend. It's been really fun playing around with video stuff, like personally for me, right? So just going to a more personal side. I took a little bit of break from yield farming. So you guys know that I'm like the biggest yield farmer around, right? Like yield farming actually, it was kind of funny, right? Because when yield farming died down, I got a lot of free time. Like all of a sudden, I don't have to go on like every morning to click buttons and like be on my ledger and like clicking back and forth and like collecting coins, dumping coins, changing my farm to a more optimal farm. Like yield farming at this current point, right? If you look at it, I think here's my 2 cents. I've actually moved a lot of coins out of yield farm, so that's like I told you guys. There was a significant amount of risk. Like say, for example, like all the new ones that came out, I didn't really get into, and I kind of just sat on my hands. I just said, you know what, I don't want to go ultra aggro. I'm still in the ones I'm in. Like say, for example, people are asking, oh, am I in YFE? Yeah. If I'm in Cream a little bit, yes. I'm in Swag, yes. Am I in Pancake? Yes. Am I in what is it, Farm? No. Am I in Sushi? Yes. Like people are asking all this stuff. Stabilize a little bit as well. Just shout outs to Happy Side Duck, part of community that actually built this. Part of our community that built this. So what's the deal? So yield farming has been great, and when it was giving 400%, 1000%, I'll be every day just jumping forth, migrating from one farm to the next because of how high the yields are. Now yields are much lower, so it's a current point where I feel like it's justified to take a little bit of a break. Like just managing funds back in the day was so hard. Like you have to be so alert. It's a situation where you just can't. Like yield farming was a situation where I couldn't drink or do anything fun because it required all my attention. And if you actually drink any alcohol or do anything, you might accidentally send crypto to the wrong address, right? Like when you're migrating farms and you send crypto to the wrong address, you are screwed for life, right? So there was a period where I was just like pure focus, like every day, 24 hours, regardless of when. If I need to move a farm, I'm ready, I'm primed, my mind's ready. Right, and that just took a really huge toll on me. It just like you just have to be so careful, like every single time, just planning out every single action, just understanding where they are, taking screenshots of where your farms are. But anyways, that's the time behind me now. So now I'm actually doing a little bit of a detox. So I'm kind of like, I went for shopping therapy. It does work. So yeah, I've been buying a lot of stuff. Yeah, even iPhone tonight, hopefully. In less than 12 hours, there's gonna be that new iPhone coming out. Just buying a bunch of random crap I don't really need. But you know, that's beside the story, right? It does make you feel happy temporarily, right? So that was kind of retail therapy. Got new shoes, got everything, got like winter jackets and stuff. It's been pretty fun. So that's been kind of my focus this week, of just like taking a break, detox, and then getting ready for the next run. In fact, like I've pretty much set up everything that I needed to set up before. So I told you guys that I kind of de-risked some alts, and then I moved back into Bitcoin. And I told you on Monday as well that I was dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin quite aggressively. So yeah, that worked out really well. So yeah, that's pretty much my life. Yeah. Jason says Angela won, but Mike must have earned a lot by farming. And farming was great. Super good. Jason says, I box money. I think you can buy a lot of properties in Hong Kong now. Are you sure? Dude, Hong Kong properties? No, man. Hong Kong properties are like $1 million US each plus for a tiny apartment, for like a shoebox. Like, why would you want to do that? Like property is for old people. Also, like, if you want exposure, like, I'm recently been talking to some people about looking at a project that's tokenizing property. Fine, like, if I might have like a small exposure to property, but never like such a huge like chunk like that. Like, yeah, like one property or no property, it's like it's a huge significant investment of money, and I'm not gonna touch that with a template full. Like, no. Arga Magi says, make a video on Insta, one phone unboxing. I want to, like, it's kind of funny, right? Like, with all this phone stuff. So, speaking of phones, right? So I'm waiting for the iPhone Pro Max, iPhone 12 Pro Max, whatever they're going to name it. Reason being is because it's slightly larger. My hands are still quite large. Also because they have a better camera, supposedly, right? We haven't got the reviews for it, but supposedly they have a stabilized wide angle camera that I'm going to say, oh, I'm going to film videos with. That's my justification for buying it. But anyway, so I'm waiting for that. But like, the fever's died down already, right? I'm looking at all the Android stuff. I'm like, oh man, there's like a fold phone from like freaking Samsung. That's great. So I don't know anymore. I don't know. Like, Jason says, just rent. I can't even afford the rent. Rent's okay. I mean, in Hong Kong, it's like, so I have the studio. This is something I'm renting, and then like I have other stuff. Like, Hong Kong, it's just expensive for no particular reason. Like, for crypto, it's okay. Like, if you're in crypto, you're all right. But I feel bad for people who have like jobs. Like, if you have an accounting job in Hong Kong, you can barely afford a flight. Like the stuff that Asians aspire to, like Hong Kong, like, I'm not going to be racist, but like Hong Kong, there's a lot of like accountants, a lot of bankers, a lot of lawyers, and they can't afford anything. Like, if you're not in crypto in Hong Kong, you're going to be very uncomfortable. Gerald Draper Jr. is like, large hands, large, strong hands, man, is the way to go. All right, let's see what else is there. In terms of news, almost 80% of Square's Cash App Q3 revenue was from Bitcoin. So apparently, after increasing Bitcoin exposure, they increased the revenue, and 80% of it was from Bitcoin too. That's us saying, hey, yo, guys, add some Bitcoin. Congrats. Yeah, Bitcoin trading, man, that's a huge profitable area. If you look at Binance, $1 billion company out of nowhere, right? Like the one unicorn of 2017, like, it just beat every other unicorn company out there. Yeah, like, big companies, you should know what you're doing. Like, and this has been a trend, right? Like, we're so used to big funds, big companies now getting into Bitcoin. I think this is a very different time. Like, back in 2012, I would have never imagined this, right? Like I told you guys, my story all the way comes from 2012, and now like every big company is making money off this. And crypto users, like, let's be honest here, crypto users have a lot of cash ready to spend. And that was like kind of my thing with NFTs, right? NFTs, like, it was too expensive for what it is, but like, if it's a reasonable price and you're supporting an artist, I think that's cool. And I think that's where the technology is going to go, where you can probably like tokenize 100 pieces of a particular piece of art, and maybe they cost like $10 or $5 each, right? That would make the most amount of sense. In fact, on this channel, we've been giving away just NFTs for free. Like, you know. All right. Yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much it for today, I think. Not too much else on the line. We'll do some quick chats, and then we will, yeah, just enjoy the rest of the ride. I'm pretty optimistic. I'm pretty, like, obviously there's gonna be bumps along the way as well. I feel like that's gonna be out there, and I think it's unwise. I've seen people who say, you know, I don't want to put Somi on the chopping block. So we have a very active community member called Somi. He's eternally bullish, and he's always like, yo, Bitcoin's gonna go to 250K, very likely. Small risk. No, the risk is still huge, guys. I think you just have to understand the risk is huge, but the rewards are huge as well. And it's been crazy, and I've been pretty thankful of everything. We got Genesis Block HK says 9 hours left to buy the BHK NFT. So guys, check that out if you guys are into NFTs. If you want to post the Genesis Block HK, just post the link up on the channel and just get people on that. We got BFA Char says bull trap. It's a trap, guys. We talked a little bit about this with Charles. Charles thought it was a little bit of a bull trap. Asia's gonna be very bearish. I think that's one thing to just keep into mind. So as Asia is as the Americans start sleeping and as Asia starts waking up and trading actively, you'll see that. And this is something that we've seen for some time as well, where Asian news just hits hard throughout, especially in the afternoon here. It just hits crypto hard. And there's going to be situations where it's going to go down. But I feel like the fundamentals are too strong for Bitcoin to be ignored in this current political climate. I feel like, magically the trade war is not going to resolve itself. I don't think that's going to go away. I don't think coronavirus is going to go away. I think like there are changes, fundamental changes that actually will make Bitcoin shine. And one of them being the fact that Bitcoin don't care who you are. You can still send it, use it anywhere in the world. I think that's such an important property that has become very key to some people. And some people don't fully understand this yet. Like they don't understand how like governments can just take control over your coin, like your account, bank account, and it's just gone. And that does happen around the world. And whilst it just seems like whilst some people kind of understand it, people don't feel it until it happens to them. And this is something that's, with more conflict in this world, it's going to happen, where some certain political opinions will get you totally wrecked and your funds will be just gone. And who wants that, right? So anyways, guys, that's kind of there. Tara says America wakes up and buys a dip. Nick Miles says Asia sells, West buys. Yeah, absolutely. Don't you notice that? Like, especially like that's why I've been staying up later and later these days. Like once it starts hitting like midnight over here in Hong Kong, you start seeing the markets go up. Like every time Bitcoin tries to push for a new high, it's always on American time. It's always sometime trading time in America that it pushes up, and then during the main trading core hours, Asia just dumps it back down. So my 2 cents. Stop selling Asians. I know this is gonna cost so much raises. Some people are gonna call me bat soup again, but that's just life, I guess. So yeah, smash up the like buttons. I'm super happy that you guys are all you guys don't care that I'm Asian, apparently, that you watch this stuff. I'm really very thankful to be here, really thankful to have this community as well. It's a very international community. We have people from everywhere coming here. Just really glad that we have this year. And I'm being very thankful this year. So we got Modified Mafia. Can you look? It says, Box Money, can you look into YFDAI and all this other stuff? I will look into altcoins. There's so many altcoins I want to show to you guys. All right, there's like infinite amount of altcoins like that I want to say and talk about. And like I said, I just been pretty, just pretty chill. Like if people want to hear it, they can hear it. And if there's a demand for it, I'm definitely going to cover it in the future. All right, so that's pretty much it. We got Crypto Duck says, you're Asian? Brayden, wait, you're Asian? Holy shit, I need to punch you in the face now. But anyways, guys, like we live in a world, it's... like I grew up in a situation where it's very international, and I think that's good. And just seeing every single nation, every single culture, and it's the best. So anyways, guys, hopefully that goes well. We'll see what happens with the elections. I think I'll be watching quite closely. Guys, do join us on Discord. And also if you have something cool to buy, like I've been looking for some cool stuff to buy. If you guys have any cool stuff to buy, yeah, just shoot me a message. I would love to find something cool. I mean, MacBooks are coming next week. Hopefully, we'll see. That's the biggest rumor so far. So the new Apple-based, ARM-based MacBooks may be replacing this year. This is pretty much a prop at this current point, to be honest. I'm using this, which is my 4-screen configuration trading desk. So it's kind of funny because like people don't realize I have like a big setup here, but it is. And this is mostly to handle Final Cut videos, handle footage that I cut when I'm outside. So for some reason, Final Cut is a little bit better for that. But I'm pretty excited. Like if I'm gearing up to travel, I guess. I mean, yeah. PS5 says Hypno Psychic. PS5, I don't know, man. It's gonna be so expensive. Like I still have to upgrade my computer. So I have a desktop down here, right? So I have the old 2070 because I'm still a cheap ass. I felt that was enough for me. I'm waiting for the 3080 or 3090 to buy for graphics card, and I'm also waiting for the new Ryzen 5000 series chipset that's coming out. So maybe an upgrade soon. PlayStation, I hope it doesn't get hyped. I mean, Hong Kong is just everything. Like I tried like 2 weeks ago, like not 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago, like to buy PlayStation 5, and everywhere the pre-orders are sold out. It's just gone. Like it's to a certain point where like I have cash. Do you want to take cash? But I don't want to pay like a double. I don't want to fund scalpers. Like am I morally obligated to not pay scalpers? I think that's me. It's just like I don't know. Hopefully my 2 cents. Also, if guys for one recommendation, if you guys like at VR, get the Quest 2. It's like super cheap. It's like $299 US. It's good enough for most things. Half-Life Alyx, play it. It's really fun. It's like, but you do get sick after it. Like it depends on who you are. I guess you get a little bit sick after it. Modified Mafia says the Ryzen GPU was shit on 3090 GPUs. Yes, but I have to use NVIDIA Broadcast. Like the reason why I don't have an air conditioning sound on my audio right now is because of NVIDIA Broadcast, because I'm kind of stuck on this for now. Nick Miles says, is Xbox even a thing in Asia? Yes, Xbox are trying to sell with every single phone plan right now because no one wants it. It's like Microsoft is trying, man. Microsoft is really trying. They're just trying to bundle it like trash. Like you want a TV? Okay, we're gonna give you an Xbox. Don't want an Xbox? It's okay. We're gonna give you 2 Xboxes, so you really like it, and you can give it to a friend. That's kind of the situation with Xboxes in Asia right now. There you go. Small altcoins is more morally obligated to be cheap. Absolutely, I'm such a cheap ass, and like before I'll be like, maybe I should hide my cheap ass side, but now I'm like just like cheap ass and proud, man. I'm cheap ass and proud. It's like how else am I gonna buy crypto, huh? But if not by saving, like you splurge once in a while when crypto moves up, right? But then you're still gonna go get more, right? Like how are you gonna get more? If you just blow your money, right, you're not gonna get more. You're gonna just lose it all. I like the people who take out a Bitcoin and spend it, like that baffles me. Like that I'm like, how do you spend a Bitcoin? Like how? Like I don't know. Like some people, like I'm such a cheap ass. I'm like I still take public transport and all that stuff. Like accumulate. I mean, that's how you get rich, right? You save up and then you get rich, right? Like anyways. Jason says, hey, I'm a cheap ass too. But yeah. Cheap Mana, cheap ADA, Xbox GG. Are you guys still investing? Like I've been looking at so on the back end of stuff as well, talking about more serious stuff. So I'm looking to start up a fund with my friends, and that's good. You're gonna see more announcements of that soon. So basically, like things need money these days, I guess, like in crypto side too. So it's like dealing with the legal side and the company side and everything. Also just recently I've splurged on making the website better. There's a production version of the website. I'm not going to show you the address. Let me see how to hide the address. But here's a sneak peek of the new box mining website. Yeah, it's been developed. We hired devs for this and just making it like look better and arrange better. And it's like it's a pain in the ass actually. Like it's just going for a meeting and just making sure all the links and categories and everything link up. I'm like, oh my god, please shut up. Please just shut up. Just make it good, okay? Like make it good. Anyways, that was fun. Not really, but yeah, that's where I've been spending some of my money, just putting it back into everything, making sure that crypto side, education side gets done. And that's it. Griffin Garrett says the second you get into trading and investing is the day you become a cheap ass. I totally agree with you. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things I'm still very, very cheap on, and that's great. That's great. It's great. I've been into very carousel recently. I don't know. Just like I'm planning to sell some of my crap that, like, you sell your crap and then you buy Bitcoin, right? So yeah, almost 666. This website looks good now. Yeah, I hope so. I hope it's dark mode. Well, darker. It's darker themed. It's not completely dark mode. It's darker themed. It's got just areas that I don't know. It's just it's a work in progress. It's work in progress. Yeah. So yeah, pretty much that's it, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching today. I think that's pretty much what I want to cover. Is the website out yet? No, the website, the current website is. So the current website is something I made myself because I was cheap. I didn't hire anyone to make it, so I just like slapped things together and called it a day. But now I actually hired a web dev and and made it. Nick Miles says Warren Buffett is a cheap ass too. It's like, I think so. Like he lives in a very small house. He just has like some, it's kind of funny, right? It's kind of funny. Like, all right, throughout my story, right? So in my life, my parents were not very rich. So I was never born with a silver spoon, but I was a lot more privileged than everyone else. So I was kind of lucky because my mom, she took up a big step, right? So she left, she got into a PhD program and she became a prof. So she actually is the smartest member of our entire family. But prof salary is not the highest, right? It's good salary, especially in Hong Kong. She was very, very lucky on that front to find a job in Hong Kong. And like growing up, like I've been through poor phases, right? Not poor, but like, relative to everyone else with a silver spoon in their hand. Like, because you kind of meet people in crypto and they're extremely privileged, right? They've always flown first class. I never fly first class, right? I've always been in dog shit economy and the cheapest seats possible, right? So I've been through the poor phases and I've saved up, and I was very, very fortunate to get into crypto to kind of push me up to a state where I can afford a lot more stuff now. Now I can afford almost anything. Like I can go out and just buy anything with cash. It doesn't really matter, right? But I wouldn't do it yet. I think it's just the other option where I'm still hoarding a little bit. Like I'm still quite aggressively kind of moving assets into making money work for me. So yet again, like I said, I'm recently invested in Genesis Block in Hong Kong, the OTC here. Like anything that I feel like is valuable and moves along in the direction of, I hold crypto as well, obviously, and then, trying to put a bit more. But that's kind of the story. I feel like it's not necessary. Like it's like spend as much as you want to make yourself happy, and then afterwards, it's like just buy Bitcoin. Yeah, that's my life. Jason says maybe I should just type Chinglish. Frugal for sure. I mean, like it's like, okay, first class is the thing I don't understand, right? Flying first class is like, I think I don't understand it because I can fall asleep very easily. So I get on economy, I fall asleep, I'm like, I'll wake up and I'm fine. Right? I think some people can't fall asleep and like they take first class, I'm fine. But like first class literally costs double. Like you can buy like, 1 ETH with that, right? 2 ETH. So anyways, that's my 2 cents, right? Jason says, want to listen to you speak Cantonese. My Cantonese is the worst. Also, I got this recently. This is kind of cool. Just bought it from Amazon. I don't know. I kind of want to look like a douchebag in this. This is my recent acquisition. Douche glass sunglasses. Yeah. I don't know. Like, is this for like, I don't know, make a character out of it, like Captain Fiat or something. But anyway, that's my recent acquisition. Got it from Amazon or something like that. Yeah, it was kind of fun. Yeah, so guilty pleasures, new sunnies for no particular reason other than they look cool. And Tom Cruise wore them, so that's kind of cool. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah. Premium economy is the most I'll do. The best thing about premium economy, all right, is that they kind of sometimes boost you to first class. So if premium economy is full, sometimes they boost you to first class. So sometimes. All right, okay, so that's it. Hey, don't shit on first class. It is what it is. First class is unrealized gains. Haha, Top Gun. So yeah, so yeah, I'm a super nerd about this stuff. Right? This is the one that it's Randolph Engineering. So it's not Ray-Ban, it's Randolph. So it's like a full metal frame, super heavy, but it's apparently what it was featured not in Top Gun, but it was featured in American Made, which is a great movie. Yeah, that's great. Off topic. And by the way, guys, if you guys want, for anyone, I have been watching Netflix too. If you guys want recommendations to watch, what was it? What was good? The American Murder was great. Like, I've been getting into true crime a lot. Not great. It's like it's a horrific story, but like it's very. What would be the correct word to describe it? But anyways, watch that stuff. Anyways, there we go. Anyways, that's pretty much it. I'm rambling now. Thank you guys for staying. I'm gonna play the outro. I have an outro now. Hope you guys like it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Make sure you smash up the likes. I'm also gonna do one more thing, which is I'm gonna set up next live stream out for schedule a stream. So let's put that up there. Let's do that. Let's do Ethereum. We'll do more discussions. If you guys have more discussions as well of ETH, cryptocurrency, Ethereum, Bitcoin. I'm just trying to like SEO for Bitcoin now. It's like that's the thing, right? All right, so that will be on Monday, 11 a.m. Hong Kong time. Boom, drop that down. So guys, so for the live streams, like they happen on, I'll put this up here as well. This happens on Monday and Friday at 11 a.m. Hong Kong time. We will set this here, copy this, boom. So you can see that here, you can actually, it will say in your own time zone if you click on the link to, which I'm going to post up now. So I'm going to post this up on live chat right now. And it's going to be a link down below. But if you click on that, you'll be ready for the live stream when it does come out. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then now I'll also have the podcast thing on here. It's pretty cool. Get the podcast, Bitcoin out of the box. That's a podcast. And then that's pretty much it for today. So keep it real, guys. See you guys soon. Thank you for the stream. Stoked I just stumbled on this channel. Thank you, Griffin Garrett, for tuning in. We talked a lot about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, Ethereum, altcoins, everything. In a very real fashion. That's what we've been targeting for a long time. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this. And let me play the outro for you guys. I'd like to take the time now to tell you a little bit about everything that's happening in the box mining ecosystem. First and foremost, if you guys like listening to all that's happening in crypto on the go, then I would highly recommend you checking out the Box Mining Bitcoin Out of the Box podcast. And the reason why it's called Bitcoin Out of the Box is because we have long interview segments very much exploring the detail of the newest and latest of what's going on in this whole cryptocurrency space. Whole idea of it is to bridge that gap between knowledge privileged institutional investors and the rest of us here in this space. Now, with the podcast, it's on everything. So it's on Apple Podcasts, it's on Google Podcasts, it's on Spotify. Just search it anywhere, Bitcoin Out of the Box. So just add that onto a playlist and let's just follow the new episodes when it's released. Next up, we also have the Box Mining newsletter. So this happens roughly bi-weekly. We give you an update of the latest that's going on in a very summarized, condensed format. So this is perfect for anyone that wants an overview of the market. Say, for example, what's happening with OKX, the biggest event, or maybe the little things like what's happening with different coins and overall the trend. So what I use the newsletter for personally myself is to understand what kind of phase we're in crypto, to kind of get in tune. So if you don't read crypto every day, the newsletter is perfect for you. Last but not least, in the link down below, if you're a Telegram user, we have the box mining announcements channel. So this is to announce to you basically what's the latest videos coming up, but also we have a daily update, a community-driven daily update to provide you an idea of the latest updates on the day. And a lot of people have been using that to get informed of the crazy amounts of trends that we see. And I have to give a big thank you for Claudio, our community member, for doing this. It's just been phenomenal. Definitely want to give you a shout out there, Claudio, as well for that. And taking us to the end of the live stream, so make sure, number one, you click like and subscribe on this video because it really does help this channel. And then, of course, check out the podcast. It's one of the best ways to know a little bit more, to extend that knowledge, especially in your spare time. And then, of course, check out the newsletter. If you're, if you want those updates and summaries and trends, newsletter is the place for you. And with that, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope you have a good one. See you in the next video.